Hi Scrubs, I hope you're well. This Alicia Online video series is jointly created with Kosetsu, who will be joining us throughout the videos.
Hello everyone! Today we start the first video of our 9-part series. We decided to break this down into smaller videos to make it easier to select the area in which you need to improve. Please note that we are not pros but have an understanding of speed on an advanced level and hope you can benefit from our experiences.
In today's video we are covering recommended key bindings, recommended camera angles, horse base speed, recommended horse stats, recommended armor for speed, and recommended horse potentials.
In part 2, we will cover the single slide, which is also known as the yellow slide.
In part 3, we will cover perfect starts, perfect boosts, and perfect jumps.
In part 4, we will cover the double slide, which is also known as the orange slide.
In part 5, we will cover chasing, revenge, handicaps, and horseshoes.
In part 6, we will cover the triple slide, which is also known as the red slide.
In part 7, we will cover single speed race skills, team speed tips, and ride lines.
In part 8, we will cover the jump dash, which is also known as the bunny hop.
In part 9, we will cover advanced sliding techniques and advanced racetracks.
You're going to notice throughout this training that your hands will get strained and tired. This is normal, so do not play to the point that your hands hurt and take time to review any sections that you are struggling with.
Before we start getting into anything else, we need to talk about key bindings and how they are set up. To change your keys, simply click the gear on the bottom left of your screen, click Settings, and open the Controls tab. In here you can set your keys however you like. Be sure to remove any secondary keys to prevent you from defaulting to your old key setup. We recommend 2 different key bindings depending on which hand you use to control your horse. Our primary will use left hand W, A, S, D for movement, and on the right hand, right arrow as use item, left arrow as drift, and down arrow as jump. Secondary will use right hand with up arrow, down arrow, right arrow, and left arrow for movement, and on the left hand, A as drift, S as jump, and D as use item. These setups will help you balance the keys between your hands. For better explanations in our upcoming videos, we have changed the name of the keys that appear on screen to match each action. These keys have been recorded in real time and have not been altered in any way.
Let's talk about our camera options. If you didn't know, you can change your camera position by pressing your insert key, as shown on screen. High camera, mid camera, and low camera. This key binding can be changed to a different key closer to your setup for a faster camera change during a race. First is the low camera position. We don't recommend this camera because it gives you the least view of the field and provides the least accurate perception of depth on the racetrack. Next is your mid camera. The game automatically defaults to this setting. Mid camera generally gives you a great perspective of depth, which helps with jumps, platforms, and horseshoes, but isn't as good as our third option for overall field of view. Last option being the high place camera. This camera is amazing for judging the distance between the wall and your horse, giving you a better view of the racetrack. Its downfall is judging the distance to your jumps, platforms, and horseshoes. This can take some practice to get used to over the mid camera.
Your horse's base speed is determined by the class your horse is. Note that the speed stat has no effect on base speed. As your horse classes up, the base speed will increase. You can gain experience by racing in training or online modes. Your horse will gain fatigue after every race, and eventually will no longer be able to obtain experience until the daily reset. So it is recommended to run 3-lap races when classing a horse, which are Sylph Slope, Sylph Hills, Colin Falls, and Amos City. At Class 1, your horse's base speed is 80. At Class 30, your horse's base speed is at 83.
Let's talk about horse stats and what they do in speed. Agility increases dash speed, increases sliding ability, and decreases speed loss while sliding.
Control decreases speed loss while running uphill, decreases collision shocks, and increases downhill running speed.
Speed only increases boost speeds.
Strength increases the duration of boosts.
Spirit increases speed of chasing, longer boost time of chasing, larger obtainable range of feathers, and feathers are obtainable for longer.
Next, let's talk about the recommended stat allocations and their pros and cons. 120 strength. First advantage is very long boosts. This means it's easier to chain your boosts together. Second advantage is the ease of cornering while boosting due to lower speeds. The disadvantage of this stat is its slower boost speed. If planned incorrectly, a speed horse could outpace your strength horse. This stat build is recommended for beginners because learning how to corner effectively while maintaining boost chains is easier.
120 speed. Its advantages lies within straightaways. This means it can easily outpace a strength horse when boosting. An inexperienced rider is its biggest disadvantage because it's harder to boost chain effectively due to shorter boost duration, and it's extremely difficult to control while boosting due to boosts being at higher speeds. For this reason, we don't recommend this build for beginners.
120 agility. This build can corner more efficiently than any other stat builds due to its increased sliding ability, and it receives less speed loss while sliding. Its second advantage is its increased dash speed. This build has two disadvantages. First, it will not gain anything boost related, making this build harder to boost chain while having slower boost speeds. Second, an inexperienced rider, as taking corners as sharp as possible is essential.
Speed, strength, splits. This build has two advantages. First, its ability to be adaptable, meaning depending on the playstyle, the stats can be adjusted to fit the rider. Second, it will have good boost speeds while having longer boosts. Its disadvantages are dependent on where the stats are placed. More speed equals less control of turns while boosting. More strength equals slower boost speeds, which could lead to being outpaced if planned incorrectly.
Agility splits. This build being the most complex out of all the builds, and results will vary depending on what you choose. Agility should be split with either speed or strength, never a three-way split. If you like the idea of agility but would like the benefits of speed or strength, this is the build for you. Keep in mind the advantages and disadvantages of each stat when choosing your split.
No one stat build is necessarily superior over another. It is highly dependent on how they are utilized by you, the player. What build will suit you as a rider depends on both personal preferences and your own skill level. Testing different stat builds is therefore important for you to find what suits you best. Over time, you may adapt to multiple stat builds. Whatever stat you choose, you must practice with it to bring out its strengths. Stats will only take you so far.
Armour is very useful in speed. To buy a horse armour, click on the shop button on the bottom of your screen. Then near the top right, click on the horse tab. Right under the horse tab, you can now select saddles, protectors, horseshoes, and shields. In speed, you do not need a complete armour set. There is no set bonus that works in speed, so instead we recommend going for stats. At the time of making this video, the following armour is available. There's only one saddle available that has plus 10 agility, the Blackstone saddle. There are two different protector options available that have plus 10 control, Demon Knight and Forest. There are two different horseshoes available that have plus 10 speed, Snowstorm and Red Silver. There are two different shields available that have plus 10 strength, Blackstone and Ghost Knight. Please be aware that Alicia Online does add new armour sets, and it is important to check what is now available to you in the shop. We're only mentioning what was available at the time of making this video.
Last topic for today is most useful potentials. Our top two picks are situational, and you should probably keep one of both. Use them depending on the situation you're in. Our number one pick is Strongheart, increases the speed gauge automatically while not boosting. This potential requires very little involvement from the rider and is useful no matter what point of the race you're in. Our second pick is Resourceful, gain additional gauge from silver horseshoes. This potential requires a skilled rider because obtaining horseshoes before another player is essential. For example, if you find yourself in a race against a Strongheart used correctly, it is powerful enough to exploit a Resourceful's weakness. Assuming both players are the same skill level, they can easily stop you on Resourceful potential from obtaining horseshoes on the track due to their automatic gauge gain, which hurts this potential greatly. In this situation, you want to be spaced correctly to obtain the horseshoes after the leader and overtake at the end.
If you would like to breed a potential horse and see the other available potentials, check out our video on how to breed high potential horses in Alicia Online. If you needed to adjust your keys and camera, stop here and spend some time learning your new setup. Proceed to part 2 when you're able to ride normally. Anyway, Scrubs, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you had a lovely day, and bye-byes!